But when I was a kid, so I met you when I was so Platform Tour came to Phoenix, the Neatest Hideaway, when I was probably 12 or 13. Probably 13 actually, because that was 2000, right? Was that 2000 Platform?
Yeah.
So I was 13. So this is a time when my best friend Ramses finds out that his brother is in a rap group called Dilated Peoples, Rocka, right? So he had went out to LA and hung out with his pops and Rocka, and at the time the Licks were around and all this. Anyway, so the first time I get to meet you guys, I'm 13. I'm go to this concert. That concert really changed my life because at that time I was like, I'm always been a hardcore hip hop head, but I was very much like very into like DMX and all the commercial shit, the No Limit Records and all this shit. But when I went to this show, there was a DJ who opened up for y'all. I think he was from Arizona. His name was DJ Megadeth, and he was just playing shit like I never even fucking heard. And I was like, it was like it unlocked this whole thing as a kid for me. But fast forward, you guys do Expansion Team, and I got to come to LA with Ramses as a kid. I went to the Fat Beats signing you guys had, which was also a cool thing for me because I was hanging out in the office at Fat Beats. I was like a 14, 15-year-old. Fucking Raw Digga's there. Obviously, J5 pulls up. And then you guys had the Expansion Team release concert. I think J5 was there, right? Anyway, this whole, like, you guys, I always say Dilated Peoples as like a fucking, you guys really changed my trajectory as a hip hop fan.
So that led you into everything else?
Yeah, bro, like really changed my life, And so I used to tag your guys' logo on every folder I had. I still have old folders from high school and middle school, and I can hit that fucking logo with my eyes closed.
Here's the thing. I'm super proud of you. Just walking in here, seeing everything you've accomplished. I've always been the young one in the crew, so I know what it's like.
Same, yeah.
And so I know what that kind of feels like, even if it's an evolution of it. And so, yeah, just to see you do all this is crazy. We could talk about it later. But I don't even want to drag that. I didn't want to even drag that element into it just because I'm proud of
Thank you, man.
Everything that you're doing. I don't even look at you as the kid that I used to know. It's a trip.
But I want to know, like, because I remember around that time, like, I went and copped, like, I got the Defari album, Focus Daily, from the warehouse. And I remember you were in that motherfucker. You had long hair in the booklet. Mm-hmm. And this one, I'm learning about, like, Liquid Crew and all this stuff. And, like, kind of this just collective that, involves kind of everybody when we talk about you and Rock and, X and King T. And
what's the trip is, you got to think, me and Al are friends. He goes to New York to college, and I stay here.
Because that was 95 when he left, I think.
Something like 97, 98.
Okay,
99,
yeah.
Actually. No, yeah, later. And so then he's mobbing with everybody out there, and then this is what I'm doing out here.
You're mobbing with all the LA legends. Yeah, and he's out there building with the infamous mob.
It was wild. It was just wild.
So I wonder, like, at what point in time, because obviously you're kicking it with Al, like, where did the idea of Dilated start? Because you guys had one of the most successful independent singles of all time on vinyl. Yeah, with Work the Angles.
Yeah.
At the time, it was the most successful. I'm not sure if it still is or not, but at that time,
it wasn't SoundScan, so it's hard to say. But it did really good. Crazy.
It did really, really good. But like that record kind of kicked off you guys getting a major deal and putting out an album and obviously having a crazy album run. But like, what was the beginning of you, Rock, and Babs kind of coming together?
Alchemist and me used to go to freestyle at the hip hop shop on Melrose. Rocka worked there. I met him. I had seen him before at the graffiti yard doing graffiti.
Right.
So I already liked him and knew him. Had somebody to talk to when I walked in there,
Right.
And then, he probably seen us rhyming. I linked up with him. Like I said, I lived next to QD3, and I had beats from him that maybe my mom gave him money for something.
That's crazy.
Something like something real sweet. You know what I mean?
Right. He's like, yeah, I got you. Here's something.
Whatever
here's
it was.
a beat CD. Do what
sure,
you want with
sure.
it. Yeah.
You know what I mean, or whatever. And so I used to run with that. Like, and maybe I told Rocka, we could do a demo or something like along those lines.
Mm-hmm.
I like the way he rhymed. Alchemist was already rhyming with Scott Kahn.
Yep.
I wasn't in that group. I was looking for something. I didn't want to rap by myself. Rapping with somebody who looked like me wasn't going to happen. There was nobody else.
Right.
So it was like, okay, well, this is dope in a different way. You know what I mean? And Rocka was more street, older. So I was like, that's kind of fire. And then, so yeah, we just started working. he led to him knowing DJ Lethal from House of Pain, which led to doing demos there, getting a record deal, getting an album that got shelved, and then coming back through independence on ABB.
ABB Records, yeah.
And then meeting Babu, who worked at Fat Beats. Everything just kind of happened. It's that young shit of just being young and the world is in front of you and you're not questioning and you're just taking it all in. You know what I mean? And so things just were moving. And then that led to making the Work the Angle song, pressing up vinyl, selling out shows on Sunset Strip.
Crazy.
Labels coming to check it and getting a record deal. It was wild.
Yeah, Work the Angles is it's one of my favorite songs of all time. And
no, crazy.
It's like it somehow has not aged. Like when I hear the song, it just there's certain records from that era, especially from like the quote unquote like backpack era of LA hip hop that like I loved growing up, and then I'll listen to sometimes now and I'll be like, this thing, Work the Angles is fucking, it's on the mantle, bro.
Some of that shit was done really good because now everything is digital. A lot of that was analog.
Right.
And the analog shit still holds up in a major way if it was done right. 100%. So you could put 80 plugins on and you can't just get what it was like hitting tape. You know what I mean? And so some of the older stuff, if it was done right, holds up in a weird way just because of the fact that we're all trying to emulate that so much.
100%.
Now through all the
plugins. Yeah, through the plugins. You're trying to emulate what you guys did because that's all you had.
That's all we had.
Yeah, 100%. So obviously, okay, so the platform ends up coming, you guys end up signing. I'm sure there had to be some sort of bidding war for you guys to end up with Capitol.
Yeah, the bidding war happened. We went to Capitol because they didn't have rap. And we thought,
if we're the only rap.
Well, all the other people liked it, but they said what you did was good, but what about working with such and such? And at the time we were so like
we were
gangstar minded, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like we want to do more of this
the way we want it. And so Capitol just didn't know any better, and they gave us more money, so it was the place to go.
So platform comes out, amazing body of work. I feel like things started to really change, at least commercially for you guys, once Expansion Team drops, because
the first album wasn't accepted commercially, but we had such a strong fan base that we did numbers.
Yeah.
So they kept us for another.
And it was a great album.
Yeah.
Great fucking album.
Yeah.
But Expansion Team comes, and then you guys finally kind of get, I guess, a taste of what like mainstream success could look like with a record like Worst Comes to Worst.
Which is ironic because it was such like just a dilated kind of record.
It was super dilated. You had Guru doing like a little like
there's no real
bridge.
Chorus.
Exactly.
Like the way Eric Sermon, just like music. We had When Worst Come to Worst, My People Come First. Just a refrain constantly coming back. The song is 1 minute and 50 seconds. Capitol said that couldn't work, so we added the instrumental at the end for like 2 minutes. If you've ever noticed, it's a short song on the vinyl, and then the beat just runs for mad long. And that's how we defeated. Like once they saw it longer, they said, "Cool, we didn't do anything different." But craziest thing is that really worked to our favor because they would play our song on Power 106, let's say, but not because they wanted to, because it was working in the format or what is tested or whatever.
Right, it was testing, yeah.
It was working, not because...
It was researching.
It was researching, but not because the DJs at the station were excited that it was researching.
Right.
But it was, and the Capitol had some money behind it, I'm sure, so they were playing it. So they'd always play it at the end of their segment. What was dope is we had that long instrumental running at the end, so they would use that as the gap to talk about whatever the fuck
they were talking
and get the next DJ on.
Right.
And so our beat would just be running for like 5 minutes as like an ad. And it really it propelled the song at radio for some reason. You know what I mean? And that one just worked out. And I would say that second album is the most pure Dilated ever was at the moment. Because it was really our first album. The album that came out previous, we had made previous to having a deal.
Right, this was kind of you guys...
the first time we made an album, you know what I mean, on a label, you know what I mean, and so it was...
Yeah, because it's almost like if you think of like Work the Angles was recorded as like a single, and then it ended up in a, and you guys actually...
Platform was just a collection of songs.
A lot of stuff that was released independently prior to that. Yeah. So the Expansion Team to me is like one of my favorite albums ever, and I think of like, even just like the moments where like Phil the Agony gets an interlude, and Tafari gets an interlude, and like, you guys had like, I feel like, even live on stage ends up being like
in Step Brothers.
It ends up being like a video game song too.
It was in the movie though.
It was in Step Brothers.
It's still in the movie.
NBA Street.
Yeah. All that shit. But it's in the movie Step Brothers when they're on their job auditions.
Right, but it's like crazy that like
which is why we call it Step Brothers. Me and Alchemist.
Ah, I see that.